Hi, Kevin Coop here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. So about a week ago or so, I was at USC. Next week, I'm going to be at Western Michigan University, and I'm already preparing for some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing this summer when I go back to Portland State University for the month of July to team teach a class there. And as you all know, I'm already over the moon about that. But I've been, because of all these things, I've sort of got students in school on my mind. And one of the things I've been thinking about is how important to a college education today is the notion of an internship. These exist today like they never existed when I went to school. I mean, it's extraordinary. I mean, my daughter, as it happens, is a criminal justice major. And she's at part, these haven't been internships per se, but she's already done things like ride-alongs with the Providence, Rhode Island Police Department. And she knows she's going to be doing internships as she moves along her college career, and that's going to be incredibly important to whatever she does in her career. And it was interesting. There was a story the other day on NPR's Marketplace, one of my favorite programs, about a new survey that says that in fact internships are a critical factor when employers are evaluating a resume. And in fact, they're more important than where a person went to school, what they studied, and what their grades were. What's most important to a lot of employers is the notion of internships. And then there was another survey from the National Association of Colleges and Employers that found that, and these numbers are amazing, 63% of paid interns in the class of 2012 had at least one job offer when they graduated. And that was as compared to 40% who did not have internships who got job offers. So obviously, if you're going to get a job when you get out of school, having those internships is really important. So yes, it's really great when interns are able to spend time with businesses, learning the business. They bring a lot to the business in the sense that they're going to learn a lot. But I think it's incredibly important that businesses take advantage of the fact that those interns are there to learn from them. After all, most of them are going to be of a generation that most business leaders don't necessarily get. You have that kind of mind power. You have those people from a different generation. Take advantage of them. Learn from them about what they want out of their consumption experience. You're in a much better position to provide for those consumers. I think that's a really important thing. Interns should not miss the opportunity, but neither should businesses. Now, a word, if I may, to some of the students who read Morning Newsbeat. And we're lucky enough to have a lot of students who read MNB. I think in part it's because there are a number of colleges out there that make it required reading every morning, so just so they know what's going on. And also I think there are a lot of college students who sort of get Morning Newsbeat. They sort of enjoy it. This is in their wheelhouse, if you will, in terms of how we do things here. And so we're lucky to have a lot of Morning Newsbeat readers in the college communities. But I want a word to them. Because one of the things I've learned from talking to students over the years is how important it is for you to put yourselves out there, for you to be willing to ask the question or or challenge the conventional thinking or create a scenario that maybe other people are not comfortable with. And it's really important for you to do that because you'll learn a lot about the reaction of the people who you give it to, as well as you may have a chance to actually contribute to the business. You've got to be able to do that. Now, I'll give you an example of a student that I know who did that. This happened last summer when I was at Portland State. And I was lucky enough in one of those classes to have a CEO from a major chain fly into Portland to talk to the students. And they were just going to basically engage in a dialogue with me and with the students, a lot of Q&A, that sort of thing. And it was interesting. One of the students raised his hand about halfway through the session and said, I have a question. I said, sure. And he says, are you going to, while you're here in Portland, are you going to be going out looking at lots of stores tomorrow? And the CEO said, yes, I am. And then the student asked the question that nobody else asked. He says, can I go with you? And the CEO said, absolutely, sure. And then, best of my knowledge, they spent the day together. I think they probably learned a lot from each other. Now, I'm not going to name the CEO. I'm not going to name the chain because, I want CEOs to feel free to come into my classroom and not worry about getting quoted. But let me tell you, this was significant, and it was really, really interesting. That kind of that enthusiasm, that willingness to put yourself out there, is incredibly important. You've got to show a little chutzpah if you're a student. And quite frankly, I think a lot of our businesses could do better if we had people within them already hired who showed that kind of chutzpah, who are willing to challenge conventional thinking, ask the question that other people are not willing to ask. That kind of chutzpah, if you will, are going to allow businesses to be more successful and careers to be more vibrant. Now, one last example, which I think is terrific, and I'm going to provide a link to it here in this commentary. At Vanderbilt University recently, Billy Joel was there, and it was going to be, doing Q&A with the students, talking about his career, maybe playing a couple of